Alrighty, so what we're doing now is I'm going to talk about mirror reflection. So we've got two images here, um, both pretty much the same. I didn't use a tripod, I just tried to hold my hand steady, but as you can tell the difference between these two. So there's a slight variance. So what you want to do in Photoshop, once you've taken these two photos, hopefully with a tripod, with two different expressions from your model, what you really want to do is get them both into the same layer. So what I've done here is I've taken this, I've cut it, and I've placed it into here. And what I've done is I've put it at a lower opacity. So this is the lower layer, layer 0, and this is the higher layer called layer 1. Just to align them, I put it at 50%, and I moved it around a bit until it looked pretty good to me. So you can arrange it until it looks better to you. So that's pretty much aligned now. I think that looks pretty good, although I might just change that a tiny bit to make that even better. Cool. And the fuzziness between the two will probably be your best bet of making sure that it's as accurate as possible. Of course, if you're using a tripod, you won't have this problem, so I suggest you do. It can be quite tricky not using a tripod because even just a minor change between the two is going to stop the effect. So the other good thing about seeing it at 45 or about 50% opacity is you can see the difference between the two things. So in one of them, I asked my model to look at me through the mirror, and the other one I asked them to look at me without looking through the mirror. So the two reflections are going to be different and the two people are going to be different. So what I'm going to do for this one is that I'm going to have both the model and the reflection looking at me in one photo. So how do we do that? It's as simple as this. What we're going to do is we're going to take the top layer and we're going to get rid of the mirror reflection that we don't want. So for here, this is very simple. We're just going to cut this across. And what we're going to do in that top layer, this layer I should say, is that we're going to get rid of that layer there. So now what's happened is we've got two people looking at us, but with a reflection, the reflection and the real person looking at us. Now, obviously, the reason I chose this one is that I asked my model to slightly put her nose ahead, but that's not a problem at all because if we look at the system behind it, or should I say the area behind it before I cut, I wouldn't have had that. So all we need to really do is think about how we're going to cut this and just to leave that area out. So as long as you're aware of those kinds of things, you won't have that problem. So as you can see, I'm going to get her nose here. So what I can do is while that area is selected, I might use my quick selection tool, and using Alt I can get those areas back. And that'll be enough. Oh, and a little bit there. And now that's a little bit more obvious. Okay? So now again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the reflection that's looking behind me, which is on this layer. And I'm going to delete that. And now it's made one seamless area. Now I can go layer, merge down, and maybe, just crop it a little bit, which may help draw attention to that. You definitely want to make it seem like it is a mirror. Got a little bit there that I can sort of do, and then auto tone it and all the rest. Okay, and that's how we merge two together for a mirror.